walking. La, 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 la.
I can help you.
Okay.
Okay, these are pages 50 and 51 in the Let's Go 3 workbook, and today we're going to change some of these I, we, you, they words into he, she, it words, and in our student books it looked like this.
Play tennis. Read email. Do gymnastics. Study English. Do homework. Practice karate.
Great, so here we go. If we're using I or you or we or they, then we don't put any S on the action or the verb. But when we use one thing, so he or she, or even it, he, she, it, then we have to add an S or an S sound to the action, to the verb. So practice karate becomes practices. I practice karate. She practices karate. Do homework becomes does. I do homework. He never does homework. Study English becomes studies. I study English. She studies. And when we change a Y, it becomes IES, studies. Next, play is going to become plays. Plays tennis. He usually plays tennis. And last, read email. Read is the action, so it's going to become reads. She reads email. And part A is done. Okay, this is part B, and it just says match. So we're going to match our action phrases that we just did up here in part A to the right picture. Number 1 says practice karate. Here's practice karate. Draw a line down to that. Number 2, play tennis. That's the first picture. Study English. It's right here. He's using a tablet to study English. Number 4, do homework. Here he's got his math book out. He's doing his math homework. Number 5, do gymnastics. This is gymnastics. She's using the balance beam. And part B is done. Okay, this is part C, and it just says write. So we're going to be writing the question and the answer. And in our student books, the question answer pattern looked like this. Okay, and we're going to be also using our helpful time words or our adverbs of frequency up here, just so we can remember that always was for 100% or all the time. If it's 80% most of the time, we say usually. If it's only once or twice, not that often, we say sometimes, 40%. And not even one time is 0% or never. All right, number 1 is done for us. We just need to trace. When does he read email? Okay, let's trace it up. Does he read email? Question mark. He, 80%, so usually, he usually reads, adding the S there, email after school. He usually reads email after school. Okay, number 2. When does she do homework? So we have does, so that reminds me that I have to use our he, she, it rule. When does she do homework? And I think all of these can be after school for the time. Okay, so we're going to say she has 40%, so that was sometimes. She sometimes, and I can't say do homework because this is she. So do has to change to does. She sometimes does homework after school. the next one. When does, it's a boy, so when does he read books? Oh no, this is an English book. So this is study English. When does he study English? That's hard to see, but there's a let's go picture right here. He, and since we have does, we're going to change study, he, she, it. Study becomes studies. Oh, but first we have to say always. He always studies English after school. All right, so number 4. Nothing's here, so we'll put the question word first. When does, our helping word, when does she practice karate? She never practice is going to change to practices. She never practices karate after school. And done. Part C is all done. Let's do part D. Okay, this is part D, and it says read and circle. And we're going to use these little blocks here to tell us if we should use always or usually or sometimes or never. Do you do your homework after school? They're all filled in, so it's 100%, so it's always. I always do my homework after school. Next, do you ride your bike after school? And there are 4 out of 5 filled in, so that is 80%, so that's usually. I usually ride my bike after school. Last one. Do you take a nap after school? None of them are filled in, so that is never. I never take a nap after school. Done. Good job.